Good morning, guys. Welcome to today's session. So, today we are going to see types of functions based on parameters and return type. So, in the last session, if you can recall, we discussed about different types of parameters like actual parameters and formal parameters. And we saw what exactly an actual parameter and formal parameter means. And since we are now ready to write the program using the function concept, this concepts helps you to write in different ways the functions in a program. So according to the need, the user can write the program using these different types of functions. So first, let us see one by one what are these different types are, and using this how we can write the functions. So coming back to this concept, what exactly it means is, so we saw elements of a function like how we declare a function, and while declaration we know that how do we write. First we write a return type, and then we write the function name, and then we write the parameter list. So there are two entities involved in declaration, that is one is return type and one is parameters. So based on this, the functions are categorized into four types. So what are those? Okay, so they are nothing but function with no parameters and no return type. The first type we say is it's function with no parameters. As the name itself suggests that this function is not going to take any parameters and they don't have return type. So if you recall the session what we discussed about function declaration, the return type means what the function after performing the task is going to return back to the calling function. Okay, so when you from the calling function, when you move to the actual function, the actual function performs certain task. After performing the task, the control goes back to the calling function. So while going back to this calling function, does your function return something or they don't return anything? Okay, so according to that, if they don't return anything, there won't be any return type. That is what it is, means that no return type. So we will clearly see what exactly this particular concept is by going through the program. So just observe this particular program what is on your screen. That is, it's basically to add two numbers. Okay, so clearly understand we are going to discuss the first topic as function with no parameters and no return type. So let us see the program. With this program you can clearly understand what does the meaning of no parameters means and what is the meaning of no return type means. So this program is to add two numbers. So look at your main function first. Okay, so this is where your execution start. So when you see a main function, main is a calling function. Okay, so why it is called as a calling function? Because it is calling a function called as add. Okay, so add is a function which is a called function. Okay, so add is getting called inside the main function. Since it's been called inside the main function, we call main as a calling function and add as a called function. Okay, so now carefully see, as soon as we call a function called as add, as I suggested earlier, the compiler looks for its declaration. Okay, that means whether the function is declared. Yes, then you can clearly see, yes, the function is been actually declared. Why it is actually declared here? Because it's before the main we have declared the function. Now when you declare, you have certain structure to be followed, that is syntax to be followed. While you declare, the important thing is you should first tell the return type. So clearly see, the return type here is void. Void means nothing. That means it's not going to return anything. That is what we our heading suggests. Here the category say that it should not return anything. So if it doesn't return anything, then the type will be void. And what is a function name? Add. And what is its parameter list? So if you see that parameter list, it's empty. That means it's not taking any parameter, and that is what we mean no parameters. So according to this example, we have declared the function exactly the same way. Okay, that means a function doesn't takes any parameter and its return type is nothing, so it doesn't return anything, so it is void. So now look at this, what exactly the add is going to do. So in this case, add is going to take the input, that is a and b as an input, and process that input, what is supposed to do as a processing part, you need to add those two inputs, that is a plus b, store the result and print the result. So now what you are clearly seeing is the called function, that is add function, is performing three tasks. It's taking the input from the user, it is processing the input from the user, whatever the user has given, take that input and process the input and store the result in a variable and print finally result. So it is doing input, it is doing processing, and it's doing output. So nothing is returned back to main function. Nothing is returned back to main function. That is why we are not returning anything. Every task, whatever it's been performed by the add function. So clearly see here, whenever you get a requirement that a function has to do everything, okay, and nothing has to be returned back to the calling function, then we can follow this approach. So that means in this method we won't pass any parameter to the function while defining, declaring, or calling the function. So carefully observe, we have called the function. Are you passing any parameters? No. You have declared the function. Are you passing any parameters? No. You have defined the function. Are you passing any parameters? In all these three elements, the parameters are not passed. That is why we call it as function with no parameters. And this type of function in C will not return any value when we call the function from main or from any other function. So since add has been called from main, this after this functionalities are performed, does this functionality return anything back to the main function? No. That is why we call it as no return type. Whenever no return type is there, while you declare the return type of a function, it should be void. Okay, it should be void. So this is what is an example of function with no parameters and no return type. Now let us go back to the next concept. So carefully observe the next concept, and then I'll come back to the first concept and tell you when to go for first one and when to go for second one. So now let us go to the second point. Function with no parameters, but it has return type. That means return type is there here. So let us take the same add function as an example. So carefully see this particular program where we did everything inside add. Now I'm not going to do everything inside add. I'm going to give some task even for the main function. Whatever add was doing, I'm going to divide some part of add to the main function. So let us just go back to the next example. So carefully observe in this particular example, we are going to add two numbers, but it is not an integer number. Whereas in the previous case, we have added two integer number. In next case, I'm going to add two floating point number. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have declared a variable called as output. Okay. I have declared a variable called as output. And if you can clearly see, what is the data type of output? The data type of output is float. Okay. Why I have declared float as a data type of output is because, as I clearly suggested, that this program is going to add to floating point number. They're not going to add to integer number. Okay. And then look at this part. What I'm going to do, those output variable which I have declared is assigned to a function. It is not assigned to a value, it is assigned to a function. That means you're calling a function here. Carefully observe, you're calling a function. So once the function get called, what is the procedure? You know that. And before you go to the next concept of this particular technique, you should carefully see, we are calling the function. Are we passing any parameters? No, we are not passing any parameters, and you can see that the parameters list is empty. That means again this condition matches function with no parameters. So when you call the function, it is not having any parameter. Now it checks, is it been declared? Yes, add has been declared. What is its return type? What have you seen in the previous program is add had a return type called as void, but here add is having a return type called as float. Okay, add is having a return type called as float. So why we have declared float, I'll come back to that topic later. So as soon as add has been declared, yes, add is a return type of add is float, and it doesn't have parameter. Why it is return type is not void? It's because the type says that it should have a return type. It doesn't say that it should not have a return type. It should have a return type. Yes, it is having a return type called as float. Okay, we will see why I have declared float, why not some other types. Okay, so add function has been called, it has been declared without parameters. That is correct, but let me say, is it float as a correct return type? Let us see what happens inside float, inside the add function. Okay, inside the add function, if you clearly observe, I have declared three variables, that is float, two variables a comma b, which takes input and stores the result in a variable called as result. So since it's a floating point value, we should also have a result variable as floating point. And now we are accepting the inputs from the user. As you know that the format to receive floating point value is percentage %f. And now carefully observe, result is equal to a plus b. So whatever the value which is computed, that is a plus b value, is being stored in result. Now carefully observe, here also we did the same thing. Result is equal to a plus b. And where did you printed the result? We printed the result inside the same add function. But in this example, what I am going to do is, after calculating the result, I am returning the result. Okay, returning the result. Now imagine I have a is equal to 1.5 and b is equal to 1.5. So result is going to have, result will be is equal to 3.0. Okay, result will be 3.0 because 1.5 plus 1.5 is nothing but 3.0. So this 3.0 is stored in which variable? Result. So what is 3.0? Is it an integer or a floating point number? Of course it is a whole number, but it has a decimal part in it, so it is a floating point number. Or for your kind example, I'll do 1.6 plus 1.6. So what is 1.6 plus 1.6? It will be 3.2. So 3.2 is nothing but an integer, sorry, floating point number. So where have you stored that floating point number? In result variable. Is it result variable is float? Yes, result variable is float. So what are you returning? You are returning result. What are you returning? What type of data you are returning? You are returning a floating point value. And that is the reason why while declaring, we have declared it as float. Okay, the reason behind this is, after the add performs its functionality, the return statement takes the value whatever you are returning to the calling function. Which is your calling function? Main. Where does it returns this result? It returns this result exactly in the position where it has been called. So where it has been called? At this position. So that means this statement will become output is equal to result. That means why will it become output is equal to return result? Because you have returned the result to this position. What is the value of result? Result is equal to 3.2. So what is saved in output? Output will now store 3.2. Now you have to carefully see, can I store 3.2 in output? Yes, of course, because output is also floating point type. And now I print the output. In which function I am printing the output now? In the main function. How am I able to print that result? Since the result was calculated in add, how was I able to print that result in the main function? Since I have returned the result back to the calling function. So this is why the result could have been printed in this particular main function. So carefully observe what exactly is the difference between the first type and the second type. In the first type, from taking the input, calculating the result and printing the result, everything was taken care by the called function, that is the add function. But here, taking the input, calculating the result was done by add a function, but the printing of the output was done by the main function. Since the add function is doing everything, it's our duty to send the result to the main function if the main has to print the result. So how do you send the result? By using the keyword called as return. So when you see return inside the function, it will jump from that statement to the calling function. So return's job is to jump from the called function to calling function. Which is a called function? Add is a called function. From here, after performing the return, result, the result has been returned to the calling function in the position where it has been called. Here was the function called. So what is it been returning? One value, that is 3.2. And keep one thing in your mind, a function can return at a time only a single value. Now I can't write result comma a. I cannot return result as well as a variable a value, because it's returning how many value? Two values. And if you return two value, how many value, how many variables it's receiving it? It's only a single variable can receive the value. So that means you can return only one single value in C functions. Okay, so function in C can return only one single value. Based on the return value what you are returning, you have to specify the type of the return. So if it is returning an integer, your data type to declare the function would have been an integer. So this is what is the function with no parameters and return type suggests. That means in this method, we won't be passing any parameters. We won't be passing any parameter to where to function while defining, declaring, or calling the function. Of course, we haven't passed any parameters in add. When it was called, the parameter list was empty. When it was declared, the parameter list was empty. When it was defined, the parameter was list were empty. But this type of function will return some value when we call the function from main function, whereas here this type of value will not return anything. If it doesn't return anything, then the type should be, return type should be void. If it returns something, then the type will be according to the value what you return. You can return floating point value, you can return integer type value, we can return double, or we can return a character type value. Based on the return type, you should specify what is its return type. Okay, so that is what is the second type. Now let us go back to the third type. Now look at this. This is the vice versa of the first two things what we have discussed. We have discussed without parameters. Now with all the examples what we have discussed was with no parameters. Now we are going to see the first type with parameters. With parameters and no return type. No return type means you will not be seeing a keyword called as return in the called function. So carefully observe, same program. It's to add two numbers. Now we are going to add two integer numbers. Carefully observe what we are going to add, two integer number, and that function should have parameters. Now carefully see what we have done is we have taken the input in main function. Till now we were taking all the inputs in which function. So look at this, a and b value was received in which function? In add function. Where was a and b was taking place? It was happening inside the add function. That way input was taken inside the add function. The first time we are going to see, we are going to take inputs in main function. Okay, and we are going to pass this input as a parameter to the add function. So what is the parameter you have passed? A comma b. Okay, why we are passing parameter? It says that function with parameters. Okay, so a comma b is been sent to a parameter for add function. Is it been declared? Yes, add has been declared. What are the, how many parameters was it taking? Two parameters. And what was the type of a comma b? A comma b type were integer. So of course integer variables is only declared as a parameter. What is its return type? Void. That means the add function is not going to return anything to the main function. Okay, let us see. What are you calculating? Result is equal to x plus y. We calculated the result and printed the result. So since if you want to calculate the result, you should declare a variable int result in this particular function, because result is not known to the, not at all declared. So we have to declare result first, calculate x plus y, and print the result of addition as. So carefully observe, where did we printed the result? We printed the result inside the add function. We could have printed that in main using by returning this value of result to the main function, but we are not in this category. We are not supposed to return anything because it says that it has no return type. That is why we, since no return type, we have come to void function. Okay, so this is what is the third example. That means this third type, this method allows us to pass the parameters. Yes, we are passing the parameters and function while calling the function. This type of function will not return any type or any value. Why? Because it should not have any return type in it. Okay, So that's just what is an example for function with parameters and no return type. So keep in your mind, we have seen three types. Function, first type what we have seen was function with no parameters. So you're not sending any parameters. And no return type. No return type means this void add function, after performing its task, it will not return anything back to the main function. That is why we printed the result inside the add function itself. Okay, and next what we saw was with the no parameters and return type. Yes, function is not going to take any a parameter. So input, output, everything was done inside add function, but the output was not printed here. The output was returned back to the main function. Okay, so if you have an habit of doing this kind of programming technique, you can follow this technique. Okay, so it's not that nobody says that you should follow this according to the need. If we want everything to be performed by one function, that is add, has to do input, processing and output, you could have gone for this case because everything is performed inside the add function. So next, so that means your main function, the calling function, doesn't have any job. Okay, everything is done by add, but here input and processing was done by add function. So you have taken input and you have calculated the result in add function, but have you printed output? No. Where have you printed output? You have printed the output in the main function. So you require something to be returned back. Since the calculation was happened inside the add function, a return statement has to return the value to the main function. That is why we use return type. Now here with the parameters and no return type. So again, you'll pass the parameter, input has to be passed as a function's parameter. So we have passed it, but the calculation and the output has been printed in add function. So this is what is the example of function with the parameter and no return type. So finally, what is the other type which is left out? It is function with the parameter and return type. That means it will also take parameter and it will also have return type. So let us see the example. So again, let us go back to the floating point example. Now we have taken input a comma b, an output variable, and carefully observe here, whenever you have a return type, we are calling output is equal to add of a comma b. So what we are adding, if you take the example of a as 20.5 and b as 1.5, then the value what you will be getting back will be a floating point value, and that is why we have taken output as also floating point. So when you say add of a comma b, we will be sending add of 20.5 comma 1.5. So 20.5 will be stored in, so we are sending this value and it will be received by your, this is what is actual parameter. Actual parameter value will be received by x and y now. So what is the value of x and y now? X is equal to 20.5 and y is equal to 1.5. Now we are calculating the result. What is the result? Result is equal to x plus y. Are you supposed to print the result here? No. Where are you supposed to print? Return that result back to the main function. Okay, return result. What is result? Result is 22.00. It is a floating point value. So how should you declare that function? Which return type you should give? Float as the return type you have to give. In the previous program, what was the return type? Void, since it was not returning anything. Here it is float. Okay, so where does it returns this 22.00? It returns this 22.00 in the position where it has been called. So 22.00 is been returned back to this particular position. Now that 22.00 is an answer of this particular function, and that 22.00 is been stored in output because it's assigned here. The function has been called and it is assigned back to output. So if you return result, it will be coming this to this point and saving that result in output variable, and finally we are printing this output. Okay, so in this case, input and output is being dealt by main function. Only the job of add function was to compute the result and give the result back to the main function, that is the calling function. And so this is the example for function with the parameter and return type. That means it will have both parameter and both return type. So this completes your 4 types of function based on parameters and return type. So let us see in the next class the other concepts related to functions. I hope so you have understood all these 4 types, and there is no necessity that you have to follow one type only. There are different ways. According to the need, we can go for either of the 4, but at last the output of this program remains the one and the same if we approach first type, second type, or third type, or fourth type. Only the mechanism changes, but the output remains same. So it's left to the programmer according to the need which approach out of this he has to follow. Okay? Thank you.